It is January 3rd, 2018. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and this is the Wrestling Inc. podcast, joined as always by Mr. Raj Giri and Chris Featherstone back hanging out with us. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Ready to talk some wrestling.
Yeah, I got SmackDown, man, for January 2nd. Also, New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 12 coming right up. Lots going on. The latest Royal Rumble declarations. Enzo Amore checked himself out of a hospital. Talk about that. What's going on there? Doing? Yeah. It's a great story. I was reading that. I saw that last night. I guess he checked himself out of the hospital, drove to the arena, and they were like, dude, you're sick. You're not wrestling.
Yeah, that's why he posted on his Instagram. He posted the video of him heading back to the arena and then getting there and being told to leave. And apparently it's pretty bad. He's not going to be able to do the mixed match challenge.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. I thought Kurt Angle might have been joking or something when he said, "Oh, I'm going to have to replace him," and that it's like, dude, really? That's 2 weeks away.
Yeah, that seemed odd. I don't know if it's just a precaution, just in case he can't make it, or what. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy if he's out of action for that long for the flu.
Yeah, especially his.
Strowman.
Oh, what's up?
He can too, didn't he?
What's that?
Didn't Strowman have the flu as well?
Yeah, he had it
right back on Raw.
Yeah, he had he missed 3 shows and was back crushing things on Raw. So
yeah, well, the monster amongst men cannot be stopped by something as simple as the flu.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm bummed. Like, we talked about this. The Enzo Nia storyline is like one of the few storylines Raw's actually been really developing. So it looks like that's going to hit a bit of a roadblock with this ahead of the Mixed Match Challenge. But last night, SmackDown Live. Oh my God. So many things, yet so little, it feels like, happened last night on SmackDown. Chris, what did you think overall of the show last night?
It was okay. I'm interested in the development still of the Shane and Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's funny because I was kind of like the Tony Reale of one of the Monday night podcasts a few weeks back, and I was texting Raj just my thoughts, and while the show was live, and I said you guys were talking about you, Matt, and Raj were talking about worthy world title contenders. Yeah, and I threw out Sami Zayn. And it was kind of left field, but I thought he was at a good place right now to be in the world title picture, and I'm glad I'm okay with the handicap match because it seems like there's going to be some type of further development leading into WrestleMania, so I'm fine with that. Usually Royal Rumble matches are kind of filler anyways. I think one year you had like Bob Holly against Brock Lesnar, and I think Kurt Angle against like Mark Henry. It's just kind of filler matches, just to kind of marquee, make something kind of marquee, and so I think we're getting that this year too.
Yeah, they don't throw their big world title matches really out for the Royal Rumble. I mean, last year you had Cena and AJ, which was very entertaining, but apparently their big WrestleMania match was Orton versus Wyatt. So
yeah, man. So last night they set it up in the opening segment. We were going to have a main event: AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon, and Daniel Bryan at ringside. Oh man, I feel just like the storyline is dragging out forever with Shane and KO and Sammy, and I don't know. And it's funny coming from me. I love Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but I feel just like this is so slow moving. And what's the end game with it? So we're gonna have this 2-on-1 handicap match, not a triple threat, but a 2-on-1. So Sammy or Kevin can't just pin one another. No finger poke of doom to strip AJ from the title.
Doesn't that make Daniel Bryan just a total heel for making that match, for making this match totally stacked against the babyface champion? And that's a total heel move. Yeah.
But the yes chance, he just can't become a heel. Like that's the thing. Like he's kind of pigeonholed. Yes chance has kind of pigeonholed him to be like a forever babyface. No matter if he does heelish things, which he's done heelish things the past few weeks, but it only takes one yes chant to make him a babyface again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
remember,
even when he was a heel, he was doing no, and the fans were still chanting yes, and he kind of had to turn babyface again.
Yeah, and remember when they tried turning him heel for a few weeks when he joined the Wyatts.
The Wyatt family. Yeah,
that
was a bust.
Yeah, they had to change that quickly back. But with the way they're building this, I mean, it's like if you don't have Daniel Bryan wrestle at WrestleMania, it just seems like a giant bust. It just seems like there's no payoff that's worthy of how much time they're spending on this. Now, the word was that Daniel Bryan hasn't been cleared. I don't know. It definitely seems like they're leading to Shane versus Daniel Bryan because they've already done Shane and Owens. Shane versus Sammy at Mania is not, that's not bigger than Shane and Owens, which has already been done. Having Daniel Bryan in their corner, it's just not, it's something, I guess, but you need a tag partner for Shane. I don't know. It just seems like maybe Daniel Bryan's secretly being cleared and they're keeping it really hush hush because otherwise there's just no real, unless they're thinking of something super creative that we can't fathom. Without Daniel Bryan returning to the ring, it just seems like like it's going nowhere.
There's only two possible endings for it, which is Sammy and Kevin end up going to Raw or Sammy and Kevin turn on one another.
Sammy and Kevin going to Raw would just kill SmackDown.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? But how else does this feud end?
Shane firing Daniel Bryan.
Or you can do the safe route and do, if perhaps, as to your point, Ross, perhaps they are expecting Daniel Bryan to be cleared in the next 3 months, and maybe they're kind of leading it to kind of making Daniel Bryan favor Owens and Zayn. And I think if they clear him by Mania, it'll probably be safer to do like a tag team match. You can do Bryan and Shane against Owens and Zayn. I think that'll be fine.
Someone in our chat room, just Cool Fam typo of the year, called him Shame McMahon. And how come no one's done that so far? 20 years. Shame McMahon.
Shame McMahon.
Yeah.
I think if Daniel Bryan's returning to action, I think you just want to do a one-on-one. A tag match just does not have that same feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But safety reasons, though. You know what I mean?
Well, if he's cleared to return, he's cleared to return.
Because I think that's the reason why they were doing the ladder match, because they were fearing, as far as concussions, and they kind of stacked the deck as far as having a bunch of people on that ladder match. And I think that's
a ladder match is way more dangerous than a regular match.
Yeah, I feel like
coming back from concussion.
Well, compared to, Daniel Bryan's going to go all out regardless.
Yeah, he was doing those headbutts on the ladder.
Yeah. I'm sure Vince McMahon was just sitting back like, Daniel, why are you doing that? Like just kind of sitting back and gorilla.
Did some stupid stuff like landing on his head in a match with Luke Harper when he came back, and he was really testing out that, testing out clearance.
Yeah, it's not gonna look. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're gonna do with this, but it's dragging on forever, and I don't think it's gonna have a satisfying payoff. It's still good, but I think
it's still the best thing on the show. It's the only thing, really. I mean, as far as a real storyline, that's
the Bludgeon Brothers and
So what was up with this last night? SmackDown Tag Team Title match: Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable versus the Usos. For a moment there, it looked like Benjamin and Gable won. They held the belts up. They were celebrating, but oh no, the Usos argued with the referee, and they restarted the match. The Usos won and retained. Raj, stupidest thing the WWE has done this year?
Oh no. Well, I mean, if we're talking about the two shows so far this year, I didn't think it was. I thought it was just a way to keep the match going and add an extra segment. And I don't think Benjamin and Gable should have won it. So I think it was the right ending with the Usos retaining. I think it was just a way, and this is why I didn't want Rusev and Aiden to win it. Win that match last week, because if all it is to lose this week, if they don't have the plan to do a title change, because I couldn't see this feud lasting until the Royal Rumble. I doubt they'd even put it on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view anyway. So, I think this was just the blow-off. Yeah. They threw a little twist in there.
Chris, what'd you think? Was it a weak fake out, or do you like it?
Hey, good old Tommy Young Dusty finish. You can't go wrong with that.
Oh man,
it was compelling. It was something different. It caused a bit of shock. in the match, and I think it kind of brings a way to continue the feud. Chad Gable was, I thought it was funny. He was begging, the referee kept saying one more time, I thought that was hilarious. But I think it'll unfold. They'll probably do a match or two. And you know how WWE booking is. You'll probably have a one-on-one when either Jay or Jimmy losing to Gable.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So they get another title shot.
That'll set up, exactly. They'll set up another match. We'll most likely see that again.
Yeah, that's true. Because they got nothing else, right? I mean, who else is unless Rusev and Aiden?
Yeah, Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers, again with the Ascension coming to their aid. No clean finish to this match.
They didn't really need one.
I know, this is like the worst kind of filler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so next week they're having the Bludgeon Brothers against the Ascension, but the thing is, you already saw the Bludgeon Brothers squash the Ascension here, so
yeah.
I mean, shouldn't they have at least knocked the Bludgeon Brothers out of the ring, and so give them a little something, so when they get killed next week, it's it's not so obvious.
Well,
it's not as obvious.
They protected Connor a bit. They just kind of hit him, and he was out of the ring. But I would be interested. In a 4-on-2 handicap match.
That's probably where they'll go. That's probably where.
Yeah. I think so. I think they'll probably do Breezango and the Ascension against the Bludgeon Brothers, probably at the Royal Rumble pre-show.
I don't think it would make the pre-show, but look, that show is already over 2 hours. And think about all the guys that then you got the two world title matches, which you will be given time. So and then the kickoff show usually has 2 to maybe at most 3 matches. So there's not a lot of room on that card.
What do you think another pre-show match would be? Because this is a 4-hour pay-per-view, so you're thinking 5 altogether. Unless the pre-show.
Well, we got the U.S. title match, right?
Yeah.
So what's the 6th match announced? What am I missing? We got the 2 Royal Rumbles, the WWE Championship match, the Universal Championship match, the U.S. title finals. I think that's it right now.
A handicap match.
Yeah.
With AJ.
Yeah. That's the
WWE that's the championship match. So we got 5 right now.
So
those 3 alone are probably over 3 hours.
Yeah, so probably 50 minutes for the women's, 45 to 50 for the women's, an hour for the men's.
Well, once you throw in the winner, the beginning, it's the first entrances, it'll stretch to an hour. Yeah, I agree. They're not. I don't see them doing 2-minute intervals. I think they'll just ring the buzzer whenever. But
which is always the case. It's not really a countdown.
They used to do legit 2 minutes back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they're trying to do, one of the biggest, most choreographed matches of the year, hour-long match. They're going to do 2 of them in one pay-per-view. So if I'm going to give the WWE creative benefit of the doubt for lacking in the build-up to it, it's because that is very, that's something grand that they're attempting.
It is. We'll have to see if they can pull it off.
Here's something I thought of real quick regarding the Royal Rumble. Stephanie McMahon came out and made that big announcement about, how this is the first ever women's Royal Rumble. But, didn't we have Miss WrestleMania back in WrestleMania 25? Like, isn't that just a Royal Rumble without the elaborate interval entrances?
No, that's a battle royal. That was a battle royal.
20 women, 19 women.
But that's what a battle royal is. I mean, they do battle royals all the time.
So well, not really with women, but what's so elaborate about the Royal Rumble though? Just the 2-minute intervals and the entrances and everything. That's the difference.
Yeah, and that always makes it more exciting. Like who's coming in next, who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 30. Yeah,
it's not like just 20 people in the ring all going at it and can't figure out what's going on for the first half of it.
Yeah, you get a lot more stories, surprises. It's Royal Rumble's my one of my favorite pay-per-views, if not the favorite of the year.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love the Rumble and I understand the concept. I love the surprise entrances, and I agree with that. But I'm just saying, to make it seem like a big first ever something, it didn't. It's not.
Well, it is in the sense that it's this gimmick match that's the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, even though it is a slight variation of Battle Royal. But the concept is that one the biggest of the year, and to do that for the women too. It's really a big deal. But I think it's a huge mistake doing 30 right off the bat, especially when you got 20 women on your roster.
They're going to bring back, I think, all the old timers and just say, "Hey, you helped this division become what it is."
Yeah,
so I think that's where they're making room.
I think that'll get old after a while too.
Yeah,
certainly,
kind of. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I mean,
I think you do 2 or 3 surprises, and then you maximize that surprise factor and the cool.
We're going to have
11. If you have 10. Yeah, that's over.
We're gonna have 11, right? Because it's 19 women on the roster. Take away the champs,
plus the champs challengers, right? Because you would think that there's going to be at least one women's title match on the show, at least.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
You got to think there's probably going to be a tag title match, maybe an intercontinental title match. You put in all that, there's no way Breezango is going to be on the kickoff show. I can see Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, something like that.
Yeah,
that'll be there. So I think that'll be. I mean, that's the 6th. Is that match is happening, and they won't waste that on the kick. Actually, maybe they'll waste that on the kickoff now. 3 weeks ago, I would say they wouldn't do that, but now,
I was hoping they stretched it out to Mania. Really?
Oh God,
I wish they would have.
Shoot myself if they did that.
I think they did it prematurely, though. I wish I wanted to see, a Mania in New Orleans where the fans chanted "Delete." I think that would have been a really good moment for Matt Hardy. But
I think it would be better for Matt Hardy to be wrestling someone other than Bray Wyatt.
You think so? At Mania?
You mean maybe perhaps wrestling someone like Sister Abigail?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've been saying just the 2 of them together, just out weirding each other. It just kills each of these segments. By the end of the I was saying this last Monday, like when Matt Hardy shows up, there's this huge pop. And then by the time the segment's done, everyone's just kind of like, what the freak was that?
I'm surprised they're not selling that laugh as a ringtone.
Yeah. So I'd rather Matt Hardy, and I said this from the beginning, like have him. He needs a straight guy to his wackiness, and I think it would work a lot better to that as opposed to.
What do you think,
guys? Elias.
Who fits the oh yeah. I like that.
Yeah, someone that is just just confused and flabbergasted and can really play off of that, as opposed to this stupid laughing stuff. I mean, this gimmick is DOA right now with how they've been handling it.
Yeah, they have.
Much better handled last night, that backstage segment with the New Day and Rusev and Aiden English in advance of the match. Enjoyed that with Rusev blowing out the candles, stealing Woods' wish.
It's clear to me that when Vince, a lot of times when something's getting over that he didn't create to get over, then he has no real plan to push it or go with it.
Yep.
I mean, can you think of the last time he has done that, where something got over on its own and he really took it to another level, as opposed to try to fight it? Now, I'm almost saying that's kind of happening to, even Daniel Bryan. It took a long time before he kind of put him in that spot. And even when he did, he didn't have the intent to go all the way with it. It was only after CM Punk left and it threw all those plans, and Batista flopped as a babyface, that it threw all those plans out the window. That WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan said in his book, he was supposed to wrestle Sheamus. That was the plan.
Yep.
And so it wasn't Vince going all the way with it. He was backed into a corner and then, kind of changed, direction. But we've seen it so many times in the past where guys like Zack Ryder. I mean, it sounds silly now that how over he was at one point, and they killed him dead. And you've just seen it over and over. Ty Dillinger, they killed it quick. All this stuff from NXT that's over when it comes up, on the main roster, and they don't push that. Vince just has this thing where if he didn't create it, if he didn't create it to, as his thing, then he doesn't want to push it. And I'm getting that feeling with Rusev. We're at like over 3 weeks now where the fans have really been, with them, and they haven't given them a single win. All you have to do is a singles match here and there to just build on that momentum, and they're not doing that at all.
Well, do you think it's a matter of still keeping the traditional, baby face and heel, kind of methodology, as far as just Rusev is supposed to be a heel on SmackDown because they have him in that slot, and if they it'll kind of change plans up if he's getting babyface pops, because I think when a heel is getting babyface pops and they compete against another babyface, I think it significantly hurts the babyface.
Sure, but it's not like the tag title situation is so important that they couldn't turn Rusev and Aiden English, right? It's not like they're building Rusev for Roman Reigns, and so they need to keep Rusev,
right.
A heel. It's a quick thing that they could do by going if the crowd's going to cheer him anyway.
I would like to see Rusev and Aiden English against Owens and Zayn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them do something with Rusev, but I'm just getting that feeling that they're not going to.
Well, hey,
I just get that feeling like he's going to be kept in this comedy tag team bit for a while.
Well, just saying, Aiden English lost his match against Xavier Woods last night for the U.S. title. Is Rusev in that tournament for next week?
No,
okay, so
next week is Mojo and Zach. Mojo's going to win that, and then you're going to have Bobby Roode beat Xavier. You'll have Jinder beat.
Jinder's going to beat Xavier.
Jinder's going to beat Xavier. Mojo's going to lose to Bobby Roode, and then it's going to be Roode and Jinder at the Rumble.
I'm just going to build on my prediction from the other night. I think Rusev wins the Royal Rumble.
I think they would be giving him more right now. It's just a little bit to build on his to build on the reactions he's been getting, and they want
moments. They want the moment, right? So I think that this will continue for 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks until the Rumble. I think he's going to keep getting these pops. I think if it sustains, who else do they have? We talked about it the other night. Given the Fastlane main event, given the way everything else is going, if it's a SmackDown winner, he's the only one at SmackDown that makes sense.
If the Fastlane main event wasn't announced, I think Nakamura would make more sense. I think there's a lot of guys that make more sense than Rusev at this point, because Rusev has been just built as a non-factor comedy guy over the last 4 months. Yeah. I think you give him a little something. Really, there's no one clear on SmackDown, because even Nakamura, he wasn't even on last night's show, right? Unless I completely forgot about him.
No, and that's the thing. The way they've booked Nakamura, I do not see him as someone they're grooming to.
Yeah.
There's no indication. I think that's just fan booking at this point.
Yeah, there's really no indication of anyone on SmackDown.
Nakamura has that it factor, though. You can turn him on the snap of a finger, as far as because he has the fans in his back pocket. There's a few people who has that. There's a few people who have that intangible where that you can just kind of thrust them into the main event scene and they'll have the fan support. With Rusev,
but when is the last time they had someone going into the Rumble that was ice cold that wins it?
I was thinking of someone
Sheamus?
Who they actually Sheamus. Yeah. Seriously, yes, Sheamus. And I was thinking of a question of when's the last time they had someone win the Rumble that actually was purposed to propel their career like they did, back in the day with a lot of people. And it's been years, because you had Randy Orton last. Well, no, I said when's the last time? Because you had Randy Orton last year. You had Triple H the year before, right?
Yeah.
And, so it's been a few years where they actually propelled. Yeah, so John Cena 1 year.
Yeah, but those were all building to a big, those were all, except for Orton, they were all building to a big Mania match. Triple H was to build to, which that was the main event of that year's WrestleMania. Orton was a complete bust. That was him and Cena. When you think about it, they had the worst world title reigns last year. Cena won it for one pay-per-view, lost it at the next. They could have just kept it on AJ. I don't know why they felt like they needed Cena to win 16 when you could just do that down the road where it means more. And then Orton, he had that crappy feud with Wyatt, one of the worst world title matches at Mania. And then he loses the next pay-per-view against Wyatt in a non-title match. And then he loses the title at the next pay-per-view. So it was clear they didn't have a big plan for Orton. And so, that was a waste of a Royal winner, Rumble winner last year.
So when was the last year that they had someone who won for the sake of their career going to the next level. Like if Rusev won, his career would go to the next level. You know, but when's the last time they had that?
Reigns before Triple H, right?
Okay. Yeah, in Philly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it was announced, we had what was it, Joshua in our chat from Wrestling Inc. announced that Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman are teaming for the Mixed Match Challenge. So that's a hell of a duo.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out. But I like that pairing. It feels weird to me that this is 2 weeks away and they're not doing more, but I guess today it kicks off, right? Today they're starting to announce the teams. We'll get more TV devoted to this, but this is big. I mean, I feel like it's getting lost in the shuffle of the Rumble, but the WWE and Facebook, I mean, in the world of tech and streaming, this is huge.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works.
I don't know if it's I wouldn't say it's huge, but it's an experiment.
Yeah, it's a good tester. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is like 205 live viewership is what we're going to get, but
well, we'll see, right? This will be actually, I mean, real. This will be put to the test as WWE audience doing something free that streams on still one of the world's most popular platforms. I mean, Facebook has, you know, audience numbers that dwarf Amazon.
So does YouTube, but
yeah, that's true.
I mean, you see how many people watch the kickoff shows, and those are usually more have more at stake than these, you know, tag matches with men teaming with women. Well, we'll see. I think the first episode will do good. I think it's going to do better than average numbers for Facebook, but I don't think it's. I think it's just a way for them to try to get more groups bidding for them for their rights.
Definitely.
But I don't think it's going to be some crazy new revelation of a new source of where the WWE audience is.
You're not excited about the 360 VR cameras that are going to be ringside during this?
I think it's a great idea to do it. You know, I keep on the cutting edge with technology, but it's not a game changer right now.
We'll see. But yeah, I agree. This is the start of next year's renegotiation between the WWE and the USA Network. And I think that is riding heavily on how well or not well this does.
I think if WWE got an offer from Facebook that was a little better than USA Network, they'd take USA Network.
Yeah. But if it's just crazy streaming money going around.
Hey, look, I think for the WWE product, if they got a deal with Netflix, I think it would be way better quality-wise than USA, because then they don't have to be 3 hours, right? You get a show like Stranger Things, they don't feel obligated to do 25 episodes for a season. They do, you know, they did like 6 or 7 for the first season or 8. Mm-hmm. And it was perfect. I mean, it didn't lose momentum. And so they would have more focus on the quality as opposed to needing to deliver this 3 hours every week. But the problem is you got 50 million people with Netflix. You got 100 million people or 90 million people with the USA Network. And that's half your audience, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how it does and what the numbers are. Oh, man. After that match with Xavier Woods pinning it in English, the Riot Squad versus Natalya, Tamina Snuka, and Carmella, bringing back that welcoming committee thing.
Good God, these promos. I got to give Ruby Riot credit. Her delivery was good, but the stuff they're scripting for these women is just god-awful. It's just way over-scripted. It just sounds way too – it's an unnatural talk. No one talks like that.
I felt to me like I was watching an Impact Wrestling promo. I mean, it was just really...
Impact Wrestling promos are way better than this.
Every time I turn on...
Eli Drake is the best promo guy in wrestling right now.
I agree. I think... oh, gosh. I think the WWE in a lot of ways has a lot of the worst promos because of the scripting.
This is bad. This is bad. But I like how she worked in everyone's names repeatedly. So you could tell who's who. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott. They got new merch, folks. So they were out. They did the match after they beat down the welcoming committee. Out comes Charlotte Flair, joined by Naomi, and a returning Becky Lynch. They stood triumphant. So, yeah. So much for the Riot Squad being dominant. I'm sure next week, 3-on-3 6-woman tag match. Book it.
This is one thing that has been bugging the crap out of me. Has been doing it for years. This declaring myself for the Royal Rumble. First of all, if you're a woman, there's 20 people on the main roster and there's 30 spots. You're declared. You don't need to declare yourself. But who wouldn't declare themselves? That whole concept is just dumb as hell.
I want a promo from Lana that was like, I was thinking about it and I'm good. I'm
no, remember
Rumble.
We were talking about this. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago here on the podcast. As far as like, the whole Sid, the Sid syndrome, where it's like we're live, pal. It's like someone comes out and declares themselves to be like an entrant in the Royal Rumble, and they're like the 31st person, so like they missed the cut. I can see someone like R-Truth doing that. Remember he did that with the Money in the Bank ladder match?
Yeah.
It just defies logic that anyone, if that's all you need to do to be in the Royal Rumble and you get a world title shot at WrestleMania, every single person would want to do that.
Yeah, it's like first come, first serve. It's like, all right, we got the 30 now. Sorry, Randy Orton didn't call in. He didn't call quick enough. John Cena, he didn't call quick enough. So there's a bunch of mid-carders in this.
Jack Gallagher had tweeted that he's in. So sorry, Randy Orton.
Right.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. And it's a quick fix. Just say you have to be announced for the Royal Rumble or you have to be put in by the general manager.
Well, they'll do that in the coming weeks. They're going to do you have to win this match first.
No, they never do that. It's all declaring. They never. I can't remember the last time they've had to do where a Royal Rumble qualifying match.
Didn't last year they make somebody win a match? I feel like they made somebody win a match last year to go in. I could be remembering wrong.
It could be, but that's what it's. It shouldn't be just that's all you have to do, because when you do that, you have to win a match. Then it makes no sense that the other people just declared themselves.
Baron Corbin last night cutting a promo. I lost my Money in the Bank cash in. But at the Royal Rumble, you'll see when I go on to main event WrestleMania.
Oof.
Poor Corbin.
Again, keeping up with those bad promos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the main event, AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn. Oh, interference galore. Leading for Zayn to pick up the win. We've seen this match before. It was good. This was a good variation of it last night, but very heavy on the outside of the ring. Hijinks, the distractions. Chris, what you think of the match?
I mean, as I expected, it was a good match between AJ and Zayn. You put those two together, they're going to deliver a pretty good match anyways. But I'm just not okay with AJ Styles being the WWE champion and getting pinned, 2 weeks in a row. And it just, I understand that it leads up to the handicap match, but I think they could have done something a bit different. If Daniel Bryan's going to, play heel in a way, I don't think it took AJ losing, by pin 2 weeks in a row to make that happen. I think they should have done that a bit differently. I'm not a fan of the WWE champion losing like that.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows where they see AJ. You know what I mean? They don't protect him. Like Brock wouldn't be losing 2 weeks in a row to set up that triple threat match against Braun and Kane. Roman wouldn't be getting pinned by both. He might be getting pinned by one, but chances are it'd be like some weird non-finish or double pin or something that would lead to something like that. So,
right.
Again, they treat the SmackDown World Title as kind of like an Intercontinental title, and that's where it'll be positioned. It's not going to go on last at the Royal Rumble. I guarantee you the Lesnar match is going to go after the AJ match.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. But hey, AJ, could very well win that handicap match.
Yeah, but the handicap, he is going to. I mean,
is he?
I mean, they've already announced announcing the Fastlane main event with AJ defending against Owen, Sammy, Orton, and Nakamura. And it was Bobby Roode too, right?
Yeah. No. Randy Orton.
5. No,
Randy Orton. Because he needs that title shot at this stage of his career.
Yeah. So the handicap match thing makes no sense. I mean, why they could have just made a triple threat? At least that would have made some sense. But stacking the deck against a champ like that really it makes no sense. It just makes Daniel Bryan seem like a heel, and maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, SmackDown, it's 2018. Royal Rumble's a couple weeks away. We're on the way, folks. This is what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a fun show. Royal Rumble always is, or usually always is. Someone pointing out that they used to have qualifying matches for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, they did until the declaration stuff happened. The declaration stuff, what was that, a year that they started doing that, or 2 years ago?
Yeah, probably a couple years.
Yeah. Anyway.
So let's talk about Wrestle Kingdom. You guys are going to give a bit of a preview since I do not follow New Japan as closely as you do, but Chris Jericho's match, it's happening in what, matter of hours?
Pumped. That's the top two matches. Let's talk about those real quick. But Jericho and Omega, I think has had the best build for a wrestling match in a long time. And it's one of those things. The build is so good that you don't really care if it's an amazing match. That would be the icing on the cake. But yeah, I'm pumped for it, and I'm pumped for Okada and Naito. I think Naito is more than Okada for me. I think Naito has that superstar feel, like that really stands out. And so I'm going to pick Naito, and I'm actually going to pick Jericho beating Omega. And I think Naito and Jericho. I think Jericho's not one and done. I think they've seen the response for Jericho. They would want to make a deal. And I think they go Jericho and Naito next.
Yeah, I mean, I was having on my show last night. I did the 5 bold predictions for 2018, and one of them was I feel that Jericho is going to go against Naito, just because they've been having kind of like the Twitter war over the past few weeks. And as far as just I agree. I think the build has been absolutely fantastic. I think the fact that Jericho stepped away from the WWE when for so many years he's been just, he's been the apologist for WWE, for so long, and just to step out and go to New Japan, I think it was great. I think the story behind it is even better. How he was hesitant, and Don Callis kind of teased it, and he was talking about how he didn't laugh and Don Callis did, because he was having some stuff kind of brewing on his head, and then Japan flew, to New York just to talk to him. So at that point, he realized how serious it was as far as getting this together. So I think just the entire backstory behind this whole thing is just phenomenal, and you can really tell that it's a spark in Jericho's career. He's 47 years old, and you can tell that this angle is sparking him a whole bunch. And I just looked at a video that he posted, that New Japan just posted, of him getting off the airport, and he had an interview in the during the airport talking about how he didn't care about New Year's. January 4th is New Year's Day, and he's so focused on this. And he didn't come he didn't come right before Wrestle Kingdom. He wanted to come, a few days before, just to get himself in the mood, get himself prepped up. And so, I think this whole thing is just phenomenally built up. As far as Naito and Kazuchika Okada, I agree that Naito, with LIJ, I think just the crew and just the feel of the faction is really exciting. But Naito was champ a couple years ago, and it was okay. And him and Okada competed a couple years ago for the title. It was a good match. I think it's going to be a really good match as well, but I don't know if they're going to have Okada lose at Wrestle Kingdom, because that's been his his ace in the hole the past few years at Wrestle Kingdom.
He lost at Tanahashi a few years ago.
That was a few years ago, though. Yeah. So I mean, he beats Kenny Omega and Tanahashi. He beat him. He lost twice. He beat over the past few years. He lost twice against Tanahashi, and he beat him. The few years ago. So yeah, and he beat Omega, and so yeah, I think that Naito's going to beat Okada eventually, probably at their Dominion pay-per-view, usually in June. But I think Okada's going to. I think Naito's going to lose, just because I don't see the Jericho Naito match being for a title. It's probably going to be like a good build as well, but I don't see it for the championship.
You know what drives me crazy about New Japan though? So they got the most anticipated match they've had for US fans ever with Jericho and Omega. And you'd be surprised how many people don't know when the show is or what time it starts. And how many emails we're getting like, how do I watch this show? Is it on pay-per-view? And you go to their website. If you go to their website, there's a small Wrestle Kingdom banner on the side. Nowhere in the front main area does it say Wrestle Kingdom 12. So there's these two banners. You click on the banner. This is their English site, right? And so you go on their English site, click on the banner. I believe it says Wrestle Kingdom 12. It says something Japanese at the top. And then it has the time in Japan. It doesn't have the what time it airs in the US. And all you need to do is put, right on the front page is you put Wrestle Kingdom 12. Pre-show starts this time Pacific, this time Eastern. The main show this time Pacific, this time Eastern. But they don't have that anywhere. And then if you go click the link from their American site, the US site, to New Japan World, it's all in Japanese by default. And you got to find the little language changer at the top to change it to English. I mean, at least have it go to the English version of New Japan World, when you click from your New Japan American website. It's amazing to me. And if you look at banners for the show, it says it has the time in Japan and not the US when it's a geo-targeted ad.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
I think that's a good point, especially since they've been like, this American match or American influence has been in New Japan for a number of years now, because they collab with NWA a few years back. For the past couple of years, they've collabed with ROH. So you've had an American presence in New Japan over the past 3 or 4 years. So I'd imagine they would have had some type of PR guy, kind of look into that and say, well, we're getting a strong American presence. We probably want to, capitalize on that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. You just don't make it as easy as possible when you spend all that money for Jericho. I mean, Jericho's not coming cheap.
Right.
So make it as easy as possible for people to find out. You already have the little switcher to English on your New Japan World site. Have that be the default when someone clicks from your American version of your website.
Especially, they got Mark Cuban doing the cross promotion in the US, which is going to be on Access. It's Friday, right?
Saturday.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's part of the reason why, is that their deal with them came with the stipulation that
you can't have the time in Pacific or Eastern.
Or exclusive broadcast.
But it's not an exclusive broadcast. They have the banners running. I mean, you go to our website, you'll see the banners running. And plus, that deal was made late. It's not like they couldn't have done this a long time ago.
But why would Access pay for those rights if New Japan was going to be promoting it to a U.S. audience to stream and watch it live?
Because they're not doing it on pay-per-view.
I don't know.
And that's a big mistake, because because New Japan World is not even on like Roku or anything or Apple TV. And Roku has the strangest apps. It's like, if you were to search, you could find like, cat lovers channel and all this.
It's because they have looser standards and it costs like nothing to develop a Roku app. Apple TV is much harder to get.
So why not have a Roku channel?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
You have to watch it basically on your computer. You could beam it, with Chromecast. But so I'm kind of a techie, on audio video file. I like watching stuff on the big screen and high def. I hate beaming stuff because you lose the video quality.
Wait, you're an audio video file. Why don't you have a computer hooked up to your TV? I've been doing that for 10 years.
Why would you have a computer hooked up to your TV?
Oh yeah, you don't get things through questionable methods on the internet. That's why.
I don't. I pay for everything, but I
which you should pay for everything.
Yeah. And I have a Roku on all our TVs, and that's really all I need. If we have computers all over the house. I'm gonna watch something on the computer.
Oh man, home theater PC changed my life. That was the game changer because I used to have to burn discs, have USB sticks, or then beam things, and now it's like, boom, it's just right there on the main thing. And I think a lot of people do, and a lot of people watch on their laptop, their tablets, you know.
Right, but a 6-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like being in my living room and watching it on the big screen. So
I have to say, I watched SmackDown last night on my iPad while on my TV I was playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and it made SmackDown a lot easier to watch. Like, it just flew by.
Yeah.
I'm with Raj. I have a screen in my man cave, and just watching it down there in the basement of my house it has a better kind of ambiance and an aura, you know what I mean, than just watching it like on a tablet or a laptop. So yeah.
It's more immersive. I get it. I mean, for me, and now that I have a 4K TV, like, I'm now pissed off that I can't get everything in 4K. You know, so I think that they should be offering the best access possible for people that want it. And that's how you get people to pay for things, by the way, I think, is that you make it as easy as possible and the best quality possible. So it is shocking the New Japan's not doing that.
Yeah. They should just make it as easy as possible to find. It's not like this is the first time. It's like this every year. No one knows what time it's at. No one knows if it's Wednesday or Thursday, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, it's going to be spoiled on social media. If you're not watching live, you know, avoid every social channel, or else you're going to get it all spoiled.
Yeah, you have to Google the conversion chart, the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you go to their website, you still don't know. You have to know where to go. You know, and someone that's not very tech savvy probably doesn't know that you just Google the time conversion. So anyway,
yeah.
So folks, it's happening. We don't know when it's happening in the U.S. But, you know.
No, it's 2 a.m. So we have live coverage starting, if you're on the Pacific, tonight, starting at 11 Pacific time, 2 a.m. Eastern. We have live coverage here on Wrestling Inc. It's going to be an awesome show. You know, my rant is about how they're promoting, the promotion, not about the show itself.
You staying up for it, Rush?
I'm going to try, but if not, I'm going to watch it first thing in the morning. I'm an old man now, man. The 2 a.m. is for me. It's midnight, but to start watching a 6-hour show at midnight, it's tough.
Yeah,
I live in Eastern, so it's 2 a.m. for me. So I'm gonna catch it in the morning.
Yeah, New Year's I was out by 1. So
yeah,
you know,
man. So we want to take some questions from the audience. We got a little time here.
Sure. Derek's pointing out that Wrestle Kingdom's re-airing on Access on Saturday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So, yeah.
So if you can go unspoiled, wait till Saturday.
Yeah, even, I think a lot of the times with New Japan, it's not even, it's almost, you want to watch it more after because you hear how great, like, a certain match is or something.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you Omega versus Okada from last year's Wrestle Kingdom got more views after the event than live.
Yeah.
At least in the US, for sure. All right, guys, let's see what some of these questions are. Someone was asking, why am I saying that it's a given that SmackDown won't a SmackDown guy won't win the Rumble because of Fastlane main event? The reason why I was saying that is because everyone that you would think would win that would be in the world title match on SmackDown is in the 5-way at Fastlane. But yeah, totally. You could do someone else winning and then facing the winner of that Fastlane match at WrestleMania. That's what they did last year with Cena winning the world title and then going on to, Bray Wyatt winning the world title from Cena in the elimination match. Yeah.
You guys stoked for the women's elimination chamber match this year?
Oh no.
Hey, but after that, right, we're on full equal footing. They will have every pay-per-view with the gimmick. We'll have a men's and women's version.
That's what it's looking like, right?
Yeah.
So that's the last one. What are they going to do with Money in the Bank? I heard they can be as much as 6 Money in the Bank matches in one pay-per-view. There's no way. Because, it's one of those things that at the very least, could we have a Raw and SmackDown Money in the Bank each, since it's a joint pay-per-view, a Raw and SmackDown Money in the Bank for the men and women. So that's 4 Money in the Bank ladder matches?
Unless Unless they do just a men's Money in the Bank match, like a men's Royal Rumble, since it's a co-branded pay-per-view, and then a women's Money in the Bank match with 4 Raw people, 4 SmackDown people, and whoever wins it gets the briefcase for their brand. They could do it that way, and it makes it more unpredictable, I think. Otherwise, it is overkill for sure.
Yeah,
it's in Chicago this year. Wow, man, if there's 6 matches, God, if that were on the West Coast, I'd go see that live. Just because that sounds like such just a cluster of like every match is a Money in the Bank.
And think about this. Philly is going to probably have nightmares because you're going to have to hear the buzzer 56 times.
Yeah.
What's that when they do it at Barclays Center? Have you guys noticed on Barclays with the replay, there's like some tone that I only hear it when they're at Barclays, like doing a pay-per-view. It's like at the end of the beginning of every replay they show. But yeah, that buzzer is going to give people nightmares for PTSD by the time this is over.
Yeah, Kirk pointing out that they should have 2 Money in the Bank winners that can challenge either brand. So even if you're a Raw guy, you could go to SmackDown and challenge them, and then you switch to their brand, I guess. So I like that idea too. That makes it even more unpredictable if you got the briefcase.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get a cruiserweight Money in the Bank match.
205 live Money in the Bank.
Right, yeah.
Have NXT. I mean, everyone gets a match.
Yeah. The top contenders. Yeah. Well, I guess it already is top contenders. But anyway.
A women's tag team Money in the Bank match.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, yeah, you're right. I guess there probably will be a women's elimination chamber.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, that's the only thing left.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be fun.
All right. Will Asuka win the women's title before the Royal Rumble? I think so.
Before the Rumble?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, there's nowhere to go at that point, though.
Unless you get Ronda Rousey, and you got Rousey versus Asuka.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a given if Asuka wins that they've inked something with Rousey. If she doesn't, I think that she wins the Royal Rumble. But if she wins the title before, I think they've inked something with Rousey, which I don't like it. I think the babyface winning the Rumble and chasing the title till Mania. I like that traditional method, and I'm more reserved when a heel wins and chases the title to face a babyface at Mania. I think it kind of takes a lot of the element away from that, Rumble to Mania chase.
It's a deep storyline at this point, but if Asuka gets the title before then, I think it would be cool if Bayley won the Women's Rumble and then set it with the Rocky like comeback story that everything in my career derailed when I lost the NXT championship to her, and now we're going for a rematch.
Yeah, I think if Asuka wins it, because her beating Alexa Bliss this early in that non-title match really makes no sense this far out, unless they're setting up a women's title match at the Rumble between the two.
Yeah, but
the fact that Asuka's already been announced for the Rumble match, I think that they're going to do that match sooner, probably next week's Raw, and Asuka wins it, and then she's out of the Rumble. Then you'd probably have a SmackDown person win the Royal Rumble and then challenge. But Bayley, I know.
She's or maybe they want at this point.
Yeah, or maybe they want us to think they've forgotten about her because that makes it more of a surprise when she wins.
You never know.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
I think
Bayley. I think Bayley is damaged goods at this point. I think there's not much you can do to resurrect her, unfortunately.
Yeah, we shall see. Except heel turn, Bayley heel turn.
You never know. I never thought Sammy would be this good of a heel, but he's been doing a great job.
Did you hear her on the Austin podcast?
Yeah, she sounded really she's really bummed out. Like has no clue what to do.
Was she on again?
No, this was
the old one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was talking about how she pitched an idea of being a heel, and she resented the idea when she was outside before a Raw, and someone was like a super fan. Oh, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, what? No, why would you do that? I mean, like your career could be transformed by a heel turn. and you're staying in a relegated kind of, you know, contrived state because of a super fan. You know, it makes no sense to me.
The problem with NXT is that all these people that they're bringing up, their growth happens in NXT. So you go on their journey or whatever in NXT, and when the main roster, you know, the majority of people haven't watched that, and so you're trying to treat them like they're still at that level, whereas people are not invested in them when they come on.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, that's one of the curses, because NXT isn't on the same level as Raw and SmackDown popularity wise. It's not like back in the day where you could have someone from WCW jump to WWE, WWF at the time, and they're already a well-known commodity. They're a superstar. Now you'll get that big pop when they first do it, because it's usually after a pay-per-view where it's a smarky crowd. But then once you get more casuals in the arena, they're not invested. And
it's true.
Whereas when you see someone like a Braun, you know, or, you know, these other guys, Elias, really, I mean, his real growth has been on the main roster as a character, and you've seen that, and you get invested in it.
Well, because I think Vince has to believe in you and what you're doing and make you a project, and he doesn't, clearly. I mean, come on, with Nakamura, Jesus Christ, those Michael Jackson promos Dolph Ziggler was cutting, and the artist, and he's painting. I mean, that was terrible.
Every hot act from NXT, the hottest acts from NXT over the past couple of years were Finn Balor, Nakamura, and Bobby Roode. And look at where they are right now.
Well, Finn Balor, they did right at first.
For a month.
Yeah,
you know, who knows where they would have gone with that?
True.
But yeah, they did put the rocket strap.
Would have gone with that. I feel like Vince wants to do this leprechaun thing, change your ring gear to green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So I think that just about does it for this week, folks. So Chris,
Alexa Bliss, someone bringing up that's another one. You saw really the growth in WWE. They weren't an established NXT figure.
It's true.
Yeah,
she's been fantastic on the main roster. Chris, where can people find you in your podcast?
Pancakes and Power Slams. I have a wrestling interview every week. Last night I interviewed Dave Christ from OVE. So check that out, and we'll have some. I'll have some highlights on that to be spread across the airwaves, or the web waves, I should say.
And Chris also writes articles for us, so check them out on Wrestling Inc.
Yeah, stay tuned to Wrestling Inc. I think we're going to have a lot more of these Facebook mixed match announcements breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Braun and Alexa. Hell of a pairing. Cool. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. You can find me on Twitter at Glenn Rubenstein, and we'll be back here Monday night. Myself, Raj, Mr. Matt Morgan, to talk about Monday Night Raw. So until next time, folks, I'm Glenn Rubenstein. We'll see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.